Hey there, fellow Reddit enthusiasts. If you love diving into intriguing Reddit stories, you'll want to stick around till the end. We've got a captivating one lined up for you today. For this video, we're delving into the fascinating world of relationships, so buckle up for a deep dive into some compelling stories. AITA for breaking up with my pregnant girlfriend because I don't want to be a father. I, 25M, had been with my now ex, 23F, for a little over 3 months. I always made sure we used lots of precaution when having intercourse. She was on birth control and I always used condoms. I wanted to avoid a child. I have known for a long time that I do not want children. I find them annoying and they would severely limit my ability to do the things I enjoy: traveling, outdoor stuff, etc. Unfortunately for me, my ex didn't have her period when she was supposed to, and it turns out she's now pregnant. She came to me and told me she was pregnant. The first thing I did was suggest an abortion. We don't live in a state where it's legal, so I offered to pay for her flight and hotel, and told her I'd be happy to come with her to get it done. I have a stable job and make good money, so it wouldn't be too much of a hit for me. She works as a receptionist and doesn't make a lot, so I figured it would be better for me to pay. That's when she told me she was hoping to keep it, and that she wanted me to help her raise the kid as its father. I have no intention of being a father. Beyond just my dislike of children, I'm not ready for that. I made it very clear that I didn't want the baby, but she kept insisting that I'd have a change of heart once it's born and to just try it out. After a long exchange, I told her that if she intended to keep the baby, I would not act as a father. I broke up with her and told her that I would pay child support once it's born, but that I expect her to respect my wishes and keep the child away from me. Since then, she's been frantically texting me, begging me to come back and telling me she'd forgive me. She sent me voicemails crying, "It does hurt to see, but I haven't responded." The other day, she texted me saying how she can't raise the kid alone, and how I'm basically forcing her to get the abortion just by leaving. She called me an asshole, an abuser, and a sexist. She ended the text begging me to talk again. I certainly feel shitty. I really liked her, and we had a good relationship before this, but I just don't want to be a father. I'm already bitter about the fact that I'll have to pay child support for 18 years, which will somewhat limit me financially. I also feel it isn't right for a parent who doesn't want their child to be involved. I'd just end up taking that pent-up anger and bitterness out on the child who is ultimately innocent, which I feel isn't right. With all this said, I come here to ask. I certainly feel like one, but I also stand by what I did. Clarifying edits. On the topic of a vasectomy, I tried. I met with a doctor last year and asked about getting one, but he refused and said every doctor he knows won't do it until you're at least 30. It's a conservative state, and while I dislike the politics, I was born and raised here, so I'm still attached to the state and have never felt the urge to leave. Someone said I should have flown elsewhere to get one, and I guess they're right, but I just didn't think about that. On the topic of birth control, I bought the condoms myself, so they were fine. Whenever we were done, I'd throw used condoms. I'm the dumpster, so I don't think she went dumpster diving. I asked her on our first date if she was taking birth control, and she said yes. I took her for her word. Maybe foolish to just believe her, but if she was lying, she'd be the first. I've met to lie about that. Most girls I've met are honest about it. I assumed she was on the pill since that's the main birth control I know, but maybe she was on something else that I'm not educated enough on. That being said, I'll follow your advice and lawyer up, plus get a paternity test. IDK how long that will take, but whenever I get it done, I'll update here with results. Thank you for your judgments. I've been away for a bit, but I'm catching up and trying to read what I can. I'll be checking back periodically and replying to some people. All further feedback is appreciated. Little update 1. I have hired one of the better family court lawyers in my state. She has someone representing her pro bono. It has been made clear to my ex and her representative that she is not to contact me personally, and that all contact will go through my lawyer from now on. A paternity test is scheduled for next Wednesday. I don't know how long it will take to get results, but the test is happening. If the child is mine, we will go to court to determine child support payments and will set up the process for me to sign away my rights. I was gone for a while, and while reading through some comments, I have found a topic I'd like to clarify for anyone left who still checks here and cares. At the beginning, I said I made sure to use lots of precautions. I had thought people would take away from that. The idea that I had made my intention to not have kids clear at the beginning. Just wanted to make that clear. She told me she wasn't looking to have kids. I should have been more clear about this, I guess. I was under the assumption that she didn't want kids, which is why I was blindsided by her change of heart once she was actually pregnant. I understand it happens, feeling change or whatever, but for me it was a big shock. When I go to get the paternity test started, she will also have an ultrasound, and we'll talk then. I'll update on Wednesday. BTW, the text will take a few days to process, so I'll also update with results. Stay tuned, because in the upcoming story update, we'll be incorporating more of your opinions. Your perspectives shape the narrative, so keep those comments flowing. Update 2. Sorry for the lateness, but I got the test done and the results are in. The baby is a girl and is indeed mine. When I saw my ex, I had a talk with her. We talked about birth control, and she told me she was on birth control and had no intention of having children. But once she found out she was pregnant, she changed her mind. I believe her. She was hopeful that I would come around to that perspective, so I made it very clear that I will not be part of the child's life and gave her 3 options. Option 1, get an abortion in any state of her choosing, and I'll pay for her to stay there for a week, so she could basically take a vacation to Hawaii or NYC or LA on my dime, but I need to come with and get confirmation that she had the abortion. Option 2, put the child up for adoption, and I'll pay for all the medical expenses that come with having a child. Option 3, keep the child and I pay my court-ordered child support, sign away my parental rights, have my name taken off the birth certificate, and have absolutely zero involvement with her or the child beyond my monthly payments. It was a tough conversation, and she didn't take it well. She ended up crying for a while. She kept telling me that I would be a loving and kind dad, asking me to try fatherhood and think about how well our relationship was going before this happened, and to imagine our future together with a daughter. I told her I'm still firmly against fatherhood, and she was devastated. She refuses to get an abortion, but is scared to be a single mother at 23, even though she wants the child. She told me that if I'm with her during the birth, see and hold the child, but still feel nothing for the baby after all, that then she will consider adoption. She also said if I change my mind about fatherhood, she will be waiting with open arms to enjoy parenthood together as a loving family, and would hope I'd propose. I have made it very clear I don't want any involvement. I'm not sure what I should do, since I would prefer for the baby to be put up for adoption, rather than have to pay child support for 18 long years. But I also don't want to be around the baby at all or present during the birth. Advice is appreciated. Update 3. I decided the best way to ensure the conversation was productive was to set ground rules and make sure we were operating from reality. Both of us haven't been being realistic. I told her that I was giving up on abortion or adoption. It was what I wanted, but I already know it isn't going to happen at this point. My ex wants the baby, I know she does, and I told her I know. I won't be bringing up abortion or adoption to her again. It just isn't worthwhile. I have to work within reality, and at this point that means under the assumption that she will keep the baby. I also told her it's time for her to give up on me. I made it very clear to her that I will not be getting back together with her no matter what, even if she aborts the baby. She will never have the happy family with me that she wants. I made it clear she needs to drop the idea, because it won't happen, and it makes it impossible to find any real solutions to this situation. She acknowledged that there will be no happy family between us. I think reality has finally set in for both of us at this point. Nobody is going to get what they want, so it's time to compromise. The new goal that we have agreed upon is this: provide my ex and our daughter with the support that they desperately need right now, while also allowing me to have zero involvement with raising the child. In other words, I will not be involved in raising the child whatsoever, but will try to give my ex the resources she needs to make sure the child has a good life. I won't be in the delivery room, and I will never see her. I will simply provide money. My ex has $25K in student debt that she needs to pay off. She is only making around $60K a year from her job, and she will be a single mother, which means child expenses and such. By contrast, I only have around $10K in student debt left to pay off, and after a little over 2 years working at the company I'm at, I just got a promotion and significant pay raise, so I'm now making roughly $150K a year. Additionally, there is plenty of room for further growth in my field, with income growth potential all the way up to $325K a year, although that is still pretty far off in the future. I don't say any of this to brag, just to put our situations in perspective. I'll have all my debts paid off by the end of 2025, plus I've been setting aside money into a savings account and investment funds. What I'm trying to say is I have money and she doesn't, so I will be making up for my lack of presence with significant financial support. I would prefer to avoid court, so I worked with my ex to find a fair monetary support system. All of what comes next is a handshake agreement between the two of us. If someone has a problem, they can go to court and determine child support that way. We talked for a while about what a fair payment system would look like, and this is what we decided on. I will pay for all of my ex's medical expenses that come with her carrying the baby, including doctor's visits and hospital bills. When the baby is born, I will pay my ex $2K a month in child support to pay for the child's expenses. This will leave my ex with breathing room and allow her to continue paying off her student debt. We don't have exact math, but our estimate we found using phone calculators was that it would probably take her between 6 to 8 more years to pay off all her student debt. Once she has paid all her debt off, the monthly child support payment will drop to $1K a month. If my ex finds a man who she marries and takes on the role of a father to the child, then my child support payments will stop, since he will be able to provide an extra income stream. Additionally, I will create a savings account that my ex will be able to see. Starting the day the baby is born, I will deposit $500 into the account. I will then deposit $500 into the account on the first day of the month, every month. until the girl turns 18. At that point, she will be given access to the account as a college fund. Based on the math we did, the account will have roughly 108K in it, not including interest. I don't know how much college will cost by then, but that should be a significant help for her to pay for college. If she decides not to go to college, I will empty the fund into my personal savings account, so she only gets the money if she attends college. The fund has another condition on it, but I'll get to that later. Beyond money, my ex and the child will need emotional support. This is where my lovely sister comes in. She and her wife love kids. They had been looking into adoption for a few months now. Based on another comment I got, which I cannot find anymore and it's driving me crazy, I think whoever wrote it deleted it, from a woman whose brother was in a similar situation. The woman decided to take on an active role and helped his ex raise the child of her own volition because she liked kids. Knowing my sister was already interested in raising a child with her wife, I reached out and asked her if she would be interested in helping my ex. She was very excited about the prospect if my ex would have her. I asked my ex what she thought and she said yes. My sister and her wife will act as a support system for my ex. When they have time, they will help my ex with things like babysitting, giving her any advice she needs, or just being there for her to talk to. They'll also be extra family for the child, helping make things like birthdays and holidays special. This is where the second condition for the college fund comes in. As I'm sure you've noticed, my sister is lesbian. I've gotten many questions asking why I don't want my parents involved with the child. Let me answer them. My sister came out at 14. From then on, she was the scum of the earth in our house. My parents are extremely religious and very homophobic, so as soon as she came out, they hated her. No more birthdays, no more Christmas, no more family dinners. They gave her the absolute bare minimum necessities to survive, and then left her alone otherwise. Obviously, it was extremely toxic. What they did was awful, and my sister has rightly gone no contact with them. My second condition for the college fund is that my ex cannot tell them about the child or let them meet her. What they want most in the world is grandchildren, and I will not give them that joy. My ex has my sister's help and support, so she doesn't need my parents. I made it clear that if I ever find out about her visiting them with the child, there will be no college fund. Finally, I want to talk about me writing a letter. Based on advice from someone whose father came back and then left, they told me not to come back but to write a letter to my daughter as closure. I don't want to come back, so I thought it was a great idea. The letter will explain why I'm not around and this whole situation. I'm going to be truthful, but try to also be gentle in the letter. The goal is to make it clear that I didn't leave because of a particular hatred towards her, but just because I never wanted to be a father in the first place. I'll also include something about how hard her mother tried to make me reconsider, and how much her mother loves her. I'll end it by wishing her good luck in life. The letter will be officially notarized and will be signed by both me and my ex. When she turns 18, if she has questions about me and wants them answered, my ex will give her the letter. If the letter still can't satisfy her and she wants further answers, I've given permission for her to talk to me in person. I feel I owe it to her to answer her questions in person, if that's what she needs for closure. My ex also felt strongly about wanting my name on the birth certificate, so I've agreed to that. In summary, my ex will keep the child. I will provide child support payments. I will provide a college fund on the condition that the child goes to college and my parents are never involved in this situation. My sister and her wife will help my ex by acting as an extra support system for her. And I will write a letter to my daughter explaining why I am not present, that will be given to her only if she wants it as a way for her to gain closure. Full thing won't post in comments, so I'll post it in chunks. BTW. This will likely be my last update. Things are mostly figured out. Thank you for all the advice and help. Also, for anyone who hasn't seen, I'll be getting a vasectomy in Colorado in February 2024. I'd already said so, but I'll put it here too. The story isn't over yet. In our final update, we're weaving in more of your opinions and reactions. Your voices are an integral part of the storytelling process. Update 4. Happy holidays to everyone. Hope you're having a nice winter. Short and boring update. I got our terms from Update 3, written up into a contract, and X has signed. Some minor changes have been made, which I will outline. Some things weren't legally enforceable, so those have remained part of a handshake agreement. The basic contract is I have 0 visitation rights and will never be allowed visitation rights, but X also has made active efforts to keep the child away from me. I will be paying for her medical care during the pregnancy process. We decided to adjust the payment system. I will be paying 1.5K a month in child support, and an additional 500 will be added in support for every 50K. My salary increases by currently 150K, capping out at 500K for a max support payment if 5K a month. The handshake part of the agreement is the college fund in exchange for not notifying my parents of their granddaughter's existence. The college fund will be monitored by my sister. I deposit $500 a month until the kid turns 18. Then the fund is made available to her if she is going to college or trade school. If she decides to forego higher education, she will instead receive a flat sum of $27K, roughly 1/4 of the total fund, and the remainder of the fund will go back to me. We scrapped the idea of a letter. If she wants to see me when she's 18, she'll have to come find me. I decided it's best to make it slightly higher barrier to finding me. My sister will still be involved in helping X with her parenting of the child, and they have chosen to make the girl aware that my sister is her aunt. Shit is pretty much settled. X is pretty far into pregnancy at this point, and everything is worked out. Sorry to disappoint everyone who still wanted me to step up and be a present father. That is never happening. Well, it seems we've stumbled upon the Shakespearean tragedy of modern contraception. A tale of two people, one who despises the idea of parenting and the other who believes in taking a leap into parenthood without a parachute. Our protagonist, the anti-dad, armed with condoms and a strong aversion to little humans, found himself in a situation where even his reliable methods failed him. Meanwhile, his ex-partner, with visions of a nursery and baby booties dancing in her head, was determined to turn him into the fatherhood convert of the century. In a plot twist that could make soap opera writers envious, we witnessed a masterclass in negotiation. Our hero, refusing to don the cape of fatherhood, offered alternatives: abortion, adoption, or a hefty child support check with a side of emotional detachment. Bravo for creativity. Now cue the emotional turmoil. Accusations of being an abuser and sexist were thrown around like confetti at a questionable wedding. The protagonist stood firm, as emotionally unyielding as a rock in a stormy sea. Then enters the superhero sister with a penchant for babysitting. She becomes the beacon of support for the damsel in distress, adding a touch of family drama and redemption to the storyline. It's like a twist where the villain becomes an unlikely ally. As the story concludes, our hero pens a notarized letter, a parchment of his sentiments and a testament to his unwavering commitment to childlessness. It's a farewell to fatherhood, a closure wrapped in legalese. In the end, what can we take away from this riveting drama? Life throws curveballs, and sometimes the best we can do is negotiate terms that ensure everyone involved gets something resembling what they want. Maybe it's not the fairy tale ending, but it's a realistic resolution in the messy, unpredictable narrative of life. So, here's to unconventional families, unexpected support systems, and the wisdom to craft your own happily for now rather than waiting for a fairy godmother to turn a pumpkin into a carriage. Cheers to life's messy scripts, because even the wildest tales can find a way to an oddly satisfying finale. Before we dive into the next story, let's take a moment to check out what you, our incredible audience, are saying in the comments. Your opinions truly matter. User Nay Jones, I'm curious, did you still put your name on the birth certificate? Sorry if I missed it in this update, but I remember you mentioning it on the last one. That just seems like a surefire way for the child to find you when she gets old, even without using social media or going through her mother. Unless the mother does not let her get access to her documents until she's 18, which I guess is common, but seems odd to me since I loved looking at my birth certificate when I was a kid. User Burning Burner 1600 OP replies, pretty sure my name automatically goes on the document because paternity is confirmed, but I'm gonna try to get it redacted, Chaucer sealed. I have zero love for both certificates since my parents unfortunately found a way to get Ronald Reagan to sign mine. User Starry Dust 4444, I sense you have this idea that now there's a legal agreement in place. You'll just ride off into the sunset and continue living your carefree life. I've lived long enough to know best laid plans, especially about something as big as this, never work out. Honestly, there are too many close ties between yourself and your child for you to ever be able to walk away unburdened. Her existence will significantly impact your life. Maybe not initially, but it will at some point. I wish you luck and hope your decision to pursue the more self-centered route in life doesn't end up leaving you disillusioned in the end. Thanks for the engaging comments so far. Now let's shift our focus and immerse ourselves in the excitement of our next story. Ready to see where this one takes us? My 26F fiance, 28M, told me I wouldn't be able to pull anyone else, and I'm offended. How do I manage my emotions? Me and my fiance have been together for almost 5 years, engaged for 6 months. We've never had issues where one of us was mad for a long time until this, and my mom and friends think that I'm overreacting. I had a dream some nights ago that I ended up dating a famous actor by accident. We've both had dreams where crazy things happened and told each other about it. I told him in the morning and we laughed about it. However, he made a comment about how my dreams are always extremely delusional. I asked him to elaborate, thinking it would be something funny, and instead was met with a comment about how I wouldn't be capable. As I'm sure you've noticed, my sister is lesbian, let alone him. I was taken aback, and he doubled down and told me to be realistic, that most men wouldn't even look my way because I look like I'm already taken and stopped looking interesting some time ago, and now even more with the engagement. I told him that I don't want any men to look my way, but the implication of his words hurt me. He told me it was irrelevant because we're together and I wouldn't leave him, and to stop being offended over something I asked, and left. For the record, my weight, hair, and general appearance have stayed the same, and I'm low-key high maintenance, so this isn't me letting go or something. I called my mom for reassurance, and she agreed I was overreacting. I called my friends for the same purpose and was met with the same response. I feel very hurt because I love my fiancé and find him very attractive, and I know other people do. I am grateful that he chose to be with me, and that makes me value him even more. I thought he thought the same about me, but apparently he thinks I wouldn't ever leave him because I can't pull anybody. That somehow is making me feel like he doesn't value me as I do. And worst of all, that I may be wrong for how I feel but can't control it. Am I overreacting? If so, how can I manage this so this doesn't affect us long term? It's been almost a week, and he is still being short with me because I look like I'm miserable about a petty thing. I just want things to go back to normal. ETA, the actor was Adam Driver. I've had a few DMs asking this, in case it is relevant. ETA 2, my closest friend group is a 4-girls group, where I'm the only one with a relationship that has been in one. Another detail someone messaged me to include, I do have other friends, but I haven't told them anything given the response I got from my closest circle. Finally, I have a long history of being super sensitive. I've cried over minor things my whole life, which is why it's not surprising for my closest ones to immediately call me out on it. I'm on therapy addressing that, my pushover nature, and my self-esteem issues. Hold on to your seats. In the upcoming story update, we're weaving in more of your opinions. It's your chance to shape the narrative, so keep those insights flowing. Update. My 26F, fiancé, 28M, told me I wouldn't be able to pull anyone else and I'm offended. How do I manage my emotions? First, you gave me the courage to reach out to my other friends outside my closest circle, and they were shocked by what happened and told me not to brush it off. They echoed many of your comments and even called it negging too. Also, my therapist backed up my feelings and said I needed a straight-up chat with my partner and to set some clear boundaries and decide what's best for me and what I wish to enforce as my non-negotiables. Second, I did follow someone's advice and started going out more with my supportive friends. My birthday actually fell in between these dates, and I decided to celebrate it by bar hopping in my city, and it went great. My ex was invited, we were still together at that point, and was sulking the whole time because I did get external attention, which I shut down. Finally, what happened with my now ex. After talking with my therapist, I did explain my feelings to him again and reiterated that those comments will not be tolerated if we were to continue in the relationship. I also said we needed counseling as a couple because this could stem from insecurities from both sides. He did not apologize, but rather justified his actions under 3 arguments. And yes, these came from a 28-year-old man. I do look less interesting, and it's unfair to use my birthday as an example of me attracting anyone because I was catfishing as a younger woman, as the girls I invited are mostly 22, 24. Adam Driver, the actor I dreamt about, is taller than him. We're both 5'7", and he is insecure about it, so dreaming with people taller than him is disrespectful and emasculating. Even if, his words, I'm objectively attractive, ever since I started therapy, I became cocky and more demanding, so he took the chance to bring me back to earth. All of this was a shock to me. I felt as if the man I was with for the last 5 years was not there anymore. This was a complete 180 from what he was before, and I do believe is a mix of slipping off the mask after the engagement and the fact that he changed jobs to a male-dominated corporation. And those new friends did give me a weird vibe regarding their stance on women and equality. Regardless of what prompted this change, I ended it. Returned the ring, packed a bag with my essentials I had at his place and left while he threw a tantrum. He was super uncooperative in returning some of my remaining stuff. He sent things in trash bags full of glitter and won't let me enter his apartment anymore. He also sent me all of the Star Wars movies with Adam Driver in them, broken and destroyed, lol. This made all of the pain I felt almost immediately disappear, which feels weird because I did love him, and it was a long relationship. Yet I grieved for like a week only. I did count my losses and just accepted some things I won't get back, blocked him, and haven't heard or seen him since. Thank God it's a big city. My immediate circle of friends was cut off as they valued more going to a wedding than my well-being. I'm LC with my mom, and am being supported by my dad and siblings. I've continued therapy, did a Friendsgiving celebration, and I'm bracing myself for the holidays with my family. I'm mostly okay, relearning to be on my own, to validate my feelings, and currently debating whether to send a thank you card to Adam Driver. Thanks everyone for reading. Happy holidays. If it isn't the tale of a dream, a delusional fiancé, and a breakup that rivals a Hollywood plot twist, let's break it down, shall we? Our protagonist, dreamer extraordinaire, dared to imagine a world where she accidentally dates a famous actor, only to be hit with the harsh reality that her partner thinks she's not capable of pulling someone half as attractive. Ouch, plot twist. Enter the supportive mom, friends, and a therapist, armed with the classic "you're overreacting" script. Because apparently, emotional wounds heal faster when everyone else says you're fine. But fear not, our heroine doesn't take it lying down. She goes out with friends, celebrates her birthday like a boss, and discovers glitter-filled trash bags sent by her now ex. Who knew revenge could be so sparkly? In a shocking turn of events, the ex-fiancé reveals his insecurities, from height complexes to feeling emasculated by dreams of taller actors. And the grand finale? Accusing her of becoming cocky and demanding after therapy. Well, someone's threatened by personal growth. Our heroine makes the tough call, returns the ring, and exits the stage with grace. She's left with destroyed Star Wars DVDs, broken dreams, and a newfound appreciation for glitter. And just like that, the curtain falls on a relationship that couldn't handle the script rewrite. As our leading lady embraces therapy, Friendsgiving, and the upcoming holidays with family, we're reminded that, as I'm sure you've noticed, my sister is lesbian, the twists, embracing the glitter, and moving forward with newfound strength. So, here's to dreamers, glitter bombs, and the resilience to walk away from relationships that don't appreciate growth. May your life's screenplay be filled with more laughter than drama, and may you find your own happy ending, complete with a soundtrack featuring Adam Driver. It's that time again. We're transitioning to the community comments. Keep those thoughts coming, and let's make this discussion even more interesting. User IcyFox907. I remember the original post, and I am so happy to see you stood up for yourself. It really sucks having to break off an engagement, but it's so much better to go forward alone than stick around after that kind of disrespect. In the end, you're never really going to know why he started being so disrespectful, so don't waste time on trying to figure it out. Put your time into making more progress in your own life. Oh, and BTW. Etsy has coffee mugs that say, "Step on my neck, Adam Driver, you rudely large man," for a good price. User Corfiz74. So the little woman was getting uppity when she was figuring out her own worth and had to be brought back to heel. So glad you kicked him to the curb. I bet your therapist did a secret little happy dance. I hope you'll continue therapy and will end up in a relationship that's based on mutual admiration and validation and no red pill bees. User Big Pharma Worker. Wow, what a piece of work your ex was. But I'm glad he's an ex and not your current fiancé any longer. There are approximately 8 billion people in the world, and he has the audacity to say you wouldn't be able to pull in anyone else? What an insecure little man. Lucky for you, his facade slipped, and he showed his true colors before you actually married him. Bravo. We've had some great discussions, and now it's time to move on to our next intriguing story. Get ready for more twists, turns, and unexpected revelations. I blocked my now ex, GF, after finding out she was engaged and didn't tell me, but she is depressed right now. Just want to get this off my chest because this has been a whirlwind. My now ex, GF, F28, recently distanced herself from me, M26, due to mental health issues. Of course, I was very concerned about this and tried to stay supportive without pressuring her during a tough time in her life. We slowly stopped talking. The relationship was newer, so I didn't know her friends very well and decided to find their social media to see if I can stay in contact with them for updates on her well-being. My ex-GF had told me during our 6 months that she doesn't use social media. When I found her friends online, I also found out my ex does have social media and uses it regularly. To my surprise, I find out she has been engaged to someone since 2019. When checking public records, her fiancé's primary address was listed, the same as hers. I was shocked and asked her about these things despite her mental state. She denied the relationship and said they broke it off in 2020, to which I presented her with a photo of them in 2022. She told me she always lived alone and bought her place out of interest for seeing new areas, not living with a fiancé. She said I was being crazy and said it's none of my business. She told me to leave her alone and I said gladly, to which she wildly kept on talking. I think she panicked and realized she was losing part of her support system. Part of me is shocked, happy, and relieved to have found the truth and GTFO of there before I get myself into a mess with this person. But part of me feels terrible for leaving her when she is struggling and most likely adding to it. I guess I will never know what the full truth is, or if she was even struggling. Am I a terrible person for doing this? The story evolves with your perspectives. In the story update, we're integrating more of your opinions. Keep those comments coming as we shape the narrative together. Update. I blocked my now ex-GF after finding out she was engaged and didn't tell me, but she is depressed right now. I contacted her fiancé who filled me in on a lot of details. We decided to get on a phone call to sort things out. It turns out they were together while I was talking with her. They were even still together while I was visiting her place, and she would hide all of his belongings, i.e. clothes, PC, pictures of them on the wall. She would only let me come over when he was out of town for work or visiting his family. He said he never knew about me and she hid it very well. He also explained the following. They did end up breaking off the engagement, but he broke it off because he caught her cheating with not one, but 2 other guys during their 5-year relationship, one of which happened right before she started talking to me. She would send them messages, talk dirty, sext, etc. She did the same thing with me. I also found out that the way I met her and the things she said to me are the exact same things she told her fiancé before they moved in together and got engaged. This girl told me that she wanted to get married and move in with me just the same way. In addition to this, apparently the fiancé met her while she had lived in another state and was in a relationship with someone in the army. She left her army boyfriend, who she met online, just like her fiancé and me, to be with this guy and move in with him. The fiancé said he is not mad at me for any of this and was very chill and understanding. We both agreed that she is a crazy F. So it turns out she does this consistently and has made a pattern of it. Almost as if she knows what she is going to do before it even happens. She knows all of the right things to say to get the guy emotionally attached to her, and then she does whatever she wants once she knows she has them wrapped around her finger. I guess once she gets bored with them or starts feeling guilty, she cuts it off and starts all over again with a new person and continues building on the lies of her past. Thank God I dodged this ticking time bomb wholly. I thought shit like this only happened in movies. This is seriously one messed up individual. I do not feel bad about blocking her at all anymore. She spoke with her fiancé after I contacted him, and she told him I lied about everything. When she got distant in our relationship together and said we needed a break, she went back to him begging to take her back, and he said no, lol. She probably would have came crawling back to me after had I stuck around to support her in her hard times. In a Sherlockian turn of events, our sleuth hero unravels the mystery and confronts his deceitful ex. But lo and behold, she denies, deflects, and basically tries to pull a Houdini on the truth. Meanwhile, our hero gracefully exits stage left, leaving behind the chaos like a champ. Now, the tension thickens as our hero contacts the fiancé, and they spill the tea together. Turns out, this mastermind of deception wasn't just a one-timer. She's got a pattern that could rival a knitting club. Cheating, lies, and a knack for saying the exact same lovey-dovey lines to every new victim. Bravo, maestro of manipulation. Our hero, now free from the clutches of this deceitful maestro, realizes he dodged a bullet faster than Neo in The Matrix. The saga unfolds like a daytime soap opera, leaving us wondering if she's got a script for her life or just really bad improv skills. In a final twist, our hero is vindicated. The ex tries to discredit him, but her fiancé isn't buying the sob story. And so, our hero emerges from this tangled web with a newfound wisdom, a dash of wit, and the resilience to face the dating world like a champ. Now, let's shift our focus to the comments section and see what our fantastic community has to say about this. Your insights always add an extra layer to the conversation. User LKLaugh. It does happen, unfortunately. There was this woman named Sherry who catfished a guy named Jerry, an ex-cop, and convinced him to kill her husband. It was considered the first known internet-based murder. Glad you dodged a bullet there. User JTD177. My friend's niece was in the same situation as you. Her fiancé had another girlfriend. He would hide all one girl's things on a safe when the other one came to visit. He kept this up for over 2 years before he got caught. After a 6-month breakup, she wound up marrying him. User Connolly. A fiancé of my father was similar. He found her diaries later and she wrote about why she did that. She hated men, and this was her way to pay them back or something. She stole about $35K from us as well in the process. Ready for the next adventure? Let's jump into our next story. And don't forget to hit that like button if you're as excited as I am to explore what comes next. I-27F. Think my friend, 32F, is developing interest in my fiancé. My friend was asking me about the cost of my rent the other day, and I told her my fiancé pays for our rent because it's not that expensive. She responded how I'm so lucky and she would suck so much for free rent. I thought her response was weird, but I just laughed and changed the subject. To add some background, this friend is engaged to her boyfriend of 10 years. I think he is 42, and they split all of their expenses from what I have gathered. He is pleasant whenever I interact with him, but she does complain about him all the time. She says she's going to leave him if she ever gets rich. This always makes me uncomfortable and also doesn't make sense because he is not paying for her, so she could just leave him now if she is unhappy. A few weeks after this interaction, I asked to take her to lunch to celebrate her birthday. I paid with cash when the bill came, and for some reason she asked me where I got the cash from. This caught me off guard, and looking back, I feel like this is such a strange question. I told her my fiancé gave me cash because the place we were having lunch was inside of one of my favorite shopping centers. She became overjoyed. She said, "Thank you to fiancé's name so much for my birthday lunch. I have to buy him his favorite cookies now for a thank you. That's so sweet of him to want to buy me a birthday lunch." I told her she doesn't have to get him anything because he didn't know what I was using the cash for, so there's no need to thank him. She insisted on getting him his favorite cookies as a thank you. I thought this whole interaction was quite weird, but not enough to say anything more. A few days later, she texts me while I'm in the car with my fiancé, and she starts asking questions about repairing her car bumper. My fiancé owns a repair shop, so she wanted his advice on how to repair it while saving money. I told her everything he told me, to buy a bumper on Craigslist and then she can take it to his shop or watch a YouTube video, because it's an easy fix for the type of car she has. I was replying to all of her questions very quickly since my fiancé was right there. After I finished answering her questions, she said, "You know what, this would be way easier if you just give me fiancé's number." I told my fiancé, and he said he didn't want to give out his personal number, but I can give his shop phone if I want to. He thinks she is annoying because he says she is always throwing subtle jabs at me. She stopped replying after I didn't give her his cell number. She also has said on multiple occasions my fiancé doesn't know how attractive he is, even though she has only been around him a handful of times. I have always been bad at picking up on social cues, but I have a feeling she is interested in my fiancé. Should I say something or just start to distance myself? Firstly, kudos to you for catching those not-so-subtle hints. Your friend's comment about free rent and her newfound fascination with your fiancé's number are raising eyebrows faster than a surprise party. Now, onto the birthday lunch for the fiancé episode. Seriously, who thanks someone for a lunch they didn't even know they were treating? That's like thanking the barista for a coffee you bought yourself. Awkward much? And the cherry on top, declaring your fiancé doesn't know how attractive he is. Well, thank you, Captain Obvious. Maybe she's the self-appointed president of his fan club? So what's a friend to do in this rom-com gone awry? Option A, stage a sit-down chat, spill the tea, and confront the situation. Option B, take a step back, put on your detective hat, and observe if these subtle jabs keep coming. Option C, start planting faka stories about your fiancé's bizarre quirks to throw her off the scent. Kidding, but wouldn't that be a plot twist? In all seriousness, trust your instincts. If this friend's actions are starting to feel like a poorly written script, consider having an open conversation with her. Share how her comments are making you uncomfortable, and see how she reacts. True friends will respect your boundaries and back off, no drama necessary. Before we continue our adventure, let's tap into the wealth of opinions in the community comments. Your perspectives are like puzzle pieces that complete the story. User Tired and Bored 37. Let's break this down. She thinks that your BF bankrolls your life. She is trying to kiss his ass and invents problems. Repair her bumper, my ass, did she break it herself? And now she's asking for his personal cell so she can undoubtedly start texting him and flirting with him. You need to cut off the snake. User Solid Acha Chemist 3485. My friend went through this with her husband. She was giving advice to a woman, 1 her age, who had a bad boyfriend. She said, "Look at how well my husband treats me. Find a man like that." Then this girl threw herself at my friend's husband and succeeded in starting a minor affair with him. She didn't get a man like him, she went after him. Unfortunately, some people are this small-minded and awful. Ditch her. She's not a friend. User Jodikins 77. Trust your gut. There are way too many stories on Reddit subs alone about best friends going after someone's significant other. Cut her off and explain it to your fiancé. Both of you block her and stand as a team. Shouldn't be a problem, BC. Your fiancé has noticed that she makes jabs at you. She is trying to make you look bad to him. Cut her out of your life ASAP. The comment section has been buzzing with energy. Now let's channel that excitement into our last story. Get ready for more surprises and twists. M24, F22. Girlfriend is cheating on me right now in this minute. Dear Reddit, I really don't know what I should do right now. My girlfriend, 22F, of around 2 years and a few months, has been with me, 24M, since we first met at a party at university. Just 1 week after meeting her, she already moved in with me. It was love at first sight. Around a year ago, we moved into a new apartment, which I couldn't afford by myself, and we lived there pretty happily ever since. Skip to last Monday, Christmas. We were at her father's place with all of her family. Things were fine until we drove home. She suddenly told me that she had enough of me being mean to her. The example she gave me was that I accidentally walked into her laptop's charging cable, which is white and which she spanned over a white carpet in a dimly lit room. I did not apologize for ripping it out of her laptop, but instead accused her why she placed the cable like that. After a few minutes, I did apologize though. She also told me that she does not want to stop my dreams and aspirations. I would like to move to another country after I'm done with university, but she does not. Then she told me that she wants a break from our relationship. I drove home and told her that being with her is my biggest goal in life and that I am sorry for having been mean to her and that I am willing to change, but she still wanted the break. That night, we still slept in the same bed, but I cried myself to sleep. I really don't think that I have been that mean to her. I think the main problem is that around 1 year ago, I got a job at university at cancer research. We are very successful at this, and we try to use a novel, highly successful approach. Because my father, who is my best friend, has cancer, I think I spent too much time on work and not with her. For the last few months, I sometimes went to university at around 8 a.m. and only came back at 11 p.m. for a week or so. She was alone at our home and probably very lonely. Anyway, Tuesday, I wanted to visit my father. My girlfriend wanted to visit her mother, she told me. Her mother is on the way to my father, so I offered to give her a ride to there, but she declined. She did not come home that night and told me that she would like to sleep at her mother's place. The next day, she told me that she may not come home that night as well. I told her that is fine, and she can stay at her mom's place for as long as she likes. She did actually come home though, and we watched a movie together, but she was distracted by her phone, which she looked at and which made her giggle from time to time. Only a few minutes ago, I found out that she did in fact not sleep at her mother's place, but instead went to some guy she knows from university. That night, we went to bed together, and I tried to approach her, but she distanced herself from me, so I only caressed her until she fell asleep. Now we are at what happened today. In the morning, I baked fresh buns just for her, but she told me she has a meeting with her sister and only took a few with her and left. I cleaned the house to make her feel happy when she would come home, but at around 11 p.m., I was concerned and called her mother if my girlfriend is still at her place because she would not answer me. Her mother told me that my girlfriend has not been at her place since we both left from there. She told me that maybe she is at some guy's place. Let's call him L, because L and my girlfriend drank a coffee together a few weeks ago, and she thought I knew about that. Just after the call, my girlfriend actually came home. I asked her who L is, and she told me that she actually slept at his place last Monday. She only packed a brush and some other things and then wanted to leave again. I asked her where she wanted to go now and if they had been intimate together, and she told me no and that she would go to her father's place now. I told her if she leaves, then it is over. I still remember the dead eyes she had. She did not care at all. It felt like all we have been through together suddenly did not matter to her. She just took her stuff and left. A minute later, I wanted to run after her, but she was already gone. I just don't know what to do now. I really loved her a lot. I cannot believe that this happened. I feel like my entire world falls apart. What should I do when she inadvertently comes back? We share an apartment together after all, and most of the stuff here is hers. I neglected all my friends to only be with her. I feel like this is all my fault, because I did not give her enough affection. I already told her that I will reduce my workload, because I just finished my research, but even then, I don't know if I could ever trust her again. What should I do now? And how should I behave when she comes back? Is it too late to save our relationship now? Update. During the night, I packed as much of her belongings as I could and put them in bags. I wrote her father to please pick these up, because I do not want to see his daughter again, but that I am sorry for him, because he was always a nice guy. My ex-girlfriend just wrote me a few hours ago that this is all a misunderstanding. She said she was just sleeping on this guy's couch and not at her mom's place, because she did not want her to worry and that she actually still cares a lot for me and would like to have a talk with me. I agreed that we should talk. I asked my mother and father if I should trust her, and both disagreed. I really want to trust her. I do not know if she tells the truth. I have loved her very dearly, but I cannot forget the dead eyes she had when I told her that if she leaves, that she should never come back. What should I do? She will probably be here in a few minutes or hours. I do not want to break up, but I just cannot trust her currently. BTW. She also told me that she only had a coffee with this guy because they randomly met in the city while buying Christmas gifts. She also previously cheated on her old boyfriend. Well, it seems like your relationship took an unexpected detour into a soap opera plot, and you're left feeling like the lead character in a dramatic twist. Life certainly has a knack for throwing curveballs, doesn't it? Now, I'm no relationship guru, but here's a bit of friendly banter mixed with a sprinkle of advice. Relationships are like roller coasters, thrilling, terrifying, and occasionally making you question your life choices. Your girlfriend's misunderstanding sounds like the script from a daytime TV drama. Couch sleeping and coffee dates aside, the dead eyes and bags packed at midnight drama have a certain theatrical flair. Shakespeare would be proud, or confused. Considering the bags are packed and ready for pickup, it's time to channel your inner Marie Kondo and declutter that emotional space. Relationships are a two-way street, and trust is like a fragile house of cards. Once it falls, it's tricky to rebuild. As you wait for her to return, or not, take this moment to reclaim your space. Rediscover the joy of your favorite TV show. Chat with those neglected friends, and embrace the newfound freedom to walk into your dimly lit room without fear of tripping over charging cables. In the grand theater of life, you're the star, my friend. It's time to decide whether this relationship deserves an encore, or if it's time to rewrite the script with a fresh cast. Whatever you choose, remember that every plot twist leads to character growth, and you're the leading man of your own story. Our community is a treasure trove of insights, so let's take a moment to dive into the comments before we immerse ourselves in the last part. User Morty Macabre. If she's not willing to communicate the issues she's having and you're not leaving anything out, I'd say it's probably time to look for someone else. You sound like you're highly motivated and educated, and you care a lot about something that benefits humanity. Cancer research. I think anyone would be very lucky to have you. It's gonna hurt for a long time, but please don't chase someone who can just drop you after this amount of time with no discussion. User Mustang 196671967. When someone say, I need a break, or is starting fight over nothing, it's over. Don't beg or cry, just say, okay, pack your shit and get out. They know you won't do anything, so they just pushing as they know they can. User Lucid Squid. Yikes, she's not your girlfriend, bro. You caressed her until she fell asleep. After she rebuffed your advances, 1000% she was cringing the whole time. She's well past this relationship and you should be too. Have some dignity and move on to the next one. It's not the end of the world, just the end of a chapter. Don't let it define you. As we wrap up this Reddit story, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more captivating Reddit stories. Your support means the world to me, I enjoy, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.